So I started off the week talking about a Fusion OTK deck, which was Gem Knights, and for the penultimate deck of the week I've decided to do another one, but this time it's Fluffals. Anyway, this is the deck profile. First up we've got 3 Fluffal Dog. It's a Stratos for all of you Fluffals, and Sabres. Step at 3 obviously. You get it when it's normal summon or special summon from your hand. Really, really good, especially with Sheep, as you'll see in a minute. Then we've got 3 Fluffal Owl. And again, it searches out polymerization when it's normal summoned or special from the hand. Or its second effect is you can pay 500 and it substitutes itself for a polymerization, which is kind of good because you don't always get a polymerization and you may run out of them in the deck. Yeah, so again, step at 3. And then we've got 3 Fluffal Sheep. Fluffal Sheep is probably one of the better Fluffal monsters, that's why I run it at 3. It's basically a Kizan, because when you control a Fluffal monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and once per turn, you can return one Fluffal monster you control to the hand to special summon a imp from your graveyard or hand, which is fantastic. Really, really good. It recycles Dog. It is a +1 by itself if you summon something from the graveyard. It's just really, really good, and it sets up fusions and all sorts. So yeah, step at 3. Then 1 Fluffal Bear, easy toy vendor searching. If you need to search toy vendor, I also attribute it to recycle or polymerization, but you don't normally need to. So yeah, it's just basically there for deck thinning and getting out toy vendor, and it's another Fluffal monster. So that's why I run it at 1. Then Edge and Saw. When it's normal summon, you can discard a Fluffal to draw 2 cards and then place 1 card on top or bottom of your deck. It sets up Toy Vendor, thins your deck, but not really that good. It's basically here just so I can summon Olio, as you've seen in a minute. Then 2 Edgent Sabres. When this card is in the graveyard, you can turn 1 card from your hand to the top of your deck to special summon this card from the graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. It's basically a Plague Spreader zombie that's not a tuner. Nice because it sets up your fusion players, it sets up Toy Vendor players. If you want to use Toy Vendor, it can save your life points. It's also necessary to summon Tiger and Wolf, which are 2 of the main fusions in the deck, so obviously you need to run at least 1. 3 Edgent Chain. When this card attacks, you can add 1 Edgent Chain from your deck to your hand. That's an alright effect. It's a nice +1, and it deck thins. And if this card is sent from your hand or field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Frightful monster from your deck to your hand. So that's very, very good, because Frightful fusion is a thing, as you'll see in a minute. Useful with discard things like Toy Vendor or fusion summoning or anything like that, really, so that's very, very good. Edge Imp Tomahawk, 1800 beat stick. You can send 1 Edge Imp from your hand to the graveyard to inflict 800 damage to your opponent, or you can send 1 Edge Imp from your deck to the graveyard to allow this to take its name. So it's basically like a Theme Prisma with 1800 attack. Yeah, it's useful for deck thinning, it's useful setting up the graveyard for Frightful fusion. It can set up a Sabres in the graveyard. Very, very good set. Step up 3. 2 MST for back row clearance. 2 instant fusion. You can use this to summon Frightful Sheep if you want to go into a Mad Chimera, or you can use it to summon Nodin, which you'll do most of the time because then you can go into a rank 4 play. So 2 of that. 2 polymerization, fusion summoning. 3 Toy Vendor. Some people might think this is a bit much, but when this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to add a Fluffal monster from your deck to your hand, so basically it's like Rota. You can say it as well, which is nice because I've had in the past baited out MST, so they've gone basically -1 because they've just fallen into my trap and used one of their cards to get rid of one of mine to allow me to get a search, which is nice of them. Also, you can discard a card to draw a card, and if it's a Fluffal monster, you can special summon 1 monster from your hand, so that works with Dog and Owl, and it can be set up with a number of the agents, like I said before. Then 1 Frightful Factory. This is basically like a continuous polymerization. Once per turn, you can banish 1 fusion card or 1 polymerization from your graveyard. Fusion summon a monster from your extra deck using monsters in your hand or field. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 banished Frightful fusion to your hand. Quite good. Works well with instant fusion, polymerization, and Frightful fusion. It's basically there to toolbox off Edgent Chain, basically like allowing Edgent Chain to add a polymerization, basically, which is nice. Also, instead of adding Frightful fusion, in case you need to use like a polymerization rather than a Miracle Fusion. 3 Frightful fusion. You can banish materials listed on a Frightful fusion monster from your graveyard or you control to special summon 1 Frightful fusion from your extra deck. Really good. It's like a Miracle Fusion. Everyone was really excited when this got released because, you know, Miracle Fusion for a Tiger or a Wolf is insane. And it's just a very nice card for any fusion archetype. So 3 upstarts for deck thinning, 2 Phoenix Chain for effect negation, Bottomless Trap Hole, Solemn Warning, and Compulse again, staple traps. Then we move on to the extra deck. First up, we've got 3 Frightful Tiger. It needs to be summoned using Edgent Sabres and 1 or more Fluffals. Its effect is when this card is fusion summoned, you can destroy cards on the field up to the number of materials used in the fusion summon of this monster, so it is an excellent field clearer. It can also set off your Toy Vendor to get a search out if you want it to. You can clear your opponent's field very easily. It'll destroy at least 2 cards on the field, so, you know, nice +2 on summon. Really, really good. Also, it has a secondary effect of all Fright Fur monsters you control gain 300 attack for every Fright Fur and Fluffal monster you control. So if you get out a tiger and a wolf, the tiger will have 2,500 attack, and the wolf will have 2,600 attack. So very quickly you can see they become very big beaters, which is useful for OTK. Tiger is the fusion you probably want to go into most. Then we've got 2 Fright Fur Wolf. Again, it requires an Edge and Sabers and 1 or more Fluffal monsters. This card can attack as many times as the number of fusion materials used for the summon of this card. Has 2,000 attack. It's basically for ending the game. You know, you can polymerization, fuse a lot of monsters, clear the field with Tiger, then go into Fright Fur Fusion, banish them all to summon a wolf with 2 or more attacks, and then you pretty much got game from there. If you summon a wolf with 3 attacks anyway. 2 Fright Fur Sheep requires 1 Edge and Chain and 1 Fluffal monster. When this card attacks or is attacked, your opponent cannot activate cards or effect until the end of the damage step. When this card is destroyed by your battle or opponent's can effect, you can summon it from the graveyard, and if you do, it gets 800 attack, and you can only use this effect once per turn. So basically it's a floating Archimedes, so, you know, it's really, really good. It's a, well, not only that, it's an Archimedes that floats and then comes back with an attack boost to get over to 2,800 attack, which is insane. Very, very good card. Then 1 Fright Fur Leo, well, it requires an Edge and Saw and 1 Fluffal monster. So yeah, its effect is it must be summoned, fusion summon cannot be summoned in any ways. You can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack of the destroy monster, this card cannot attack directly in turn and use this effect. It's basically like a Vulcasaurus, theme Vulcasaurus, and it's alright. It's nice you only get a bit of burn damage in, and you can't summon a Tiger, but Tiger really does the job better. But it's not entirely certain that we're going to get Tiger in the new set, so this is sort of a backup really. We've got 1 Fright Fur Chimera. If this card attacks, then your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon it to your side of the field, but its attack is halved, and this card gains 300 attack for every monster you control that was summoned by this effect. So it's an Archimedes Goyo Guardian, which sounds like it should be amazing, and it is a nice effect, but 2 things: it halves the attack of the monster summoned with it, but that's fine to stop ridiculous OTKs, and it requires 3 Fright Fur monsters to summon it. You have to summon it with 3 fusion monsters basically, or you can use things like Edgin, DT, Mudoki, whatever its TCG name is, or things summoned with Fright Fur Reborn or something. I don't know. It's very hard to summon basically, so that's why you only run it up 1. Then we've got 2 Nodon, instant fusion target, and you can summon a level 4 and then go into an Xyz play. Normally go into Lava Volchain, you detach and send a Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor then gets a search, so basically it turns, basically in this deck, instant fusion with a level 4 in the graveyard turns into a rotor for a Fluffal monster, normally dog or owl. Then 1 Sky Cavalry Centauria. While this card has Xyz material, it cannot be destroyed by battle. At the end of the damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, you can detach 1 material from this card and return the opponent's monster from the field to the hand. It's basically here in case you get Owl and Fluffal Sheep in your hand at the same time and you cannot go into anything better, so you know also an Owl special summons, you can go into this. And you have something that can't be destroyed by battle, and is basically a catastrophe that compulses, but it's after the damage step, but it can't be destroyed by battle. So yeah, that's why that's here. And then 2 Lava Volchains, as I said, it's very good. 2 summon off of Nodon, basically since the deck as well, and sets the graveyard for Fright Fur Fusion. And then 1 cast out for field clearance. So yeah, this is it for the deck, guys. I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoy this video, and if you did, please like, favourite, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you later.